Welcome back. We're going to keep moving forward. I hope you're enjoying the class and the lessons that you've had so far. If you have any questions or concerns, please be sure to reach out to your instructor. They're there to help you. They really want to help you, and they want to make sure that you understand everything you're doing, you get the most from this class. So as we move forward, we're moving into a new section here. And what we're going to be focusing here is on technology and global growth. And these things are really, really important. And I think that they're imperative that we really pay attention to them. For fear of dating myself, when I first started into the workplace, we wrote resumes out on colored paper, usually a little off-white or seashell or something kind of, neat, very thick paper, and we mailed them to the employer. That's not how we get jobs today. That's not how it's done. You don't get paper resumes mailed to you off a job you advertised in the paper. Check out your paper. You might find a job for delivering the paper, and very few others. Probably not the career you're looking for. The workplace has changed. So we have to adapt and we have to change with it, both in how we seek employment and also to take into consideration how employment is done. Jobs are changing. We want to have the scoop. We want to understand, what does that job consist of? What is necessary for me to do every day to have that job? And how that job may be changing, and making sure that we have the right stuff for that particular job. Things that we might see inevitably they're going to be changing in the near future that we know are going to be happening. One of those is healthcare. Healthcare is going to continue to change and alter. So the olden days of where you had a community doctor and he came to your house and all that stuff, that's not going to continue on, at least not today with the pace and the things that we see. What we are going to see are more programmed care kind of things, some set tests. This is what happens at this time. Less individualized care, less one-on-one care, and much more so of the program care or the expectations and things that set with that. We're going to see a lot less personal time and a lot more routine time and a lot less attention to our client base. It doesn't mean there won't be some, but it's going to change. And so we need to be aware of that and how those changes affect us. So we're like, no, I want to see the doctor, I don't want to see this aide, or I don't want to go this way, I always want to see this particular doctor. Those things will become more and more challenging. So as we go into the workplace, if that's an area we want to go into, we want to make sure we're in the right job for us. Outsourcing is something else that we're going to see a major increase of. And we already see a lot of that. And we're going to see more and more of that develop as we become a more global world. The internet and technology has allowed for so many connections that before we might have to travel to a foreign country to set up those accounts. Now we can do it via the internet. We can FaceTime them. We can Skype that person. We can talk to them live time. And so we've become one big world and one big universe. And there's a lot of pros in that. And there's a lot of great things in that. But involved with that, we will also see a lot more outsourcing that will be happening. Jobs are going to be eliminated. And much of this is due to automation. There's a lot of jobs that used to be done that simply won't exist anymore. Literally today, I went to McDonald's. And I took my daughter to McDonald's, and we had to use the kiosk. And that was okay. I used the kiosk, I got my order. And as I sat there, I watched an elderly gentleman come up, and he said he didn't want to use the kiosk. He didn't feel comfortable with the kiosk. He wasn't familiar with it. And somebody offered to help him with the kiosk. He said, I don't want to use it, and I don't have a credit card. I don't want to use this. And so can I just use the register? And he was greeted with, no. We don't even keep cash or a register up here anymore. You must use the kiosk. The attendant isn't there anymore. The cashier isn't there anymore. Many, many, many jobs in the next 10, 20 years are going to be eliminated. They're going to be automated. There's not going to be a need for those direct service personnel sometimes, but there will be more need for technology-based people or service people or different types of jobs. So what are those jobs that will be necessary? What are those jobs that are going to be eliminated? If your goal in life, and I hope it isn't, is to be a McDonald's cashier, you might start looking again about other opportunities, because I'm not sure that one's going to be around. So we want to start thinking about what are the careers that I really want to do, where is it going to move, and how can I move forward? And finding out, what does that career horizon look like? What does that job goal look like in the near future? Careers are going to continue to evolve. They're going to continue to look different. And so we have to evolve with them and pick the career that's going to serve us the best. Change is going to come, and what's most important is that workplace have the ability to cope. Because if you don't have the ability to cope, you're going to be behind the ball, and you may not even be able to move forward. In social services, we've been required to move to electronic records. So if somebody says, I don't really want to do that, I feel really comfortable with my system, you have to submit your records moving forward to insurance companies, to the state, to regulators through electronic records. You don't have that option to say anymore, why don't you come on out, we'll visit, I'll have coffee. They ain't coming. You have to adapt. And if you can't adapt, you're going to have to close. So as you move into those fields, those are the things that you want to keep in mind as well. Career exploration before you start. Find somebody who's working in the job. Find somebody who's working in the field. Ask them those questions. What does this job look like? What do I think this job will look like in the future? What are the skills required to do this job and do this job well? Where do I go from this job moving forward? Ask somebody who's out there. Ask somebody who's doing the job. Ask somebody who can give you that firsthand knowledge. So that's really, really valuable. Create a list of questions. Organize those questions in a way that they're grouped together in a way that makes sense, so that you can get those answers, and then identify those answers. Find somebody in the field. Find a mentor. Do research. Use the library. Do field research. Do whatever it takes you to understand that job before you put all of your eggs in the basket to be something that may or may not be what you think it's going to be moving forward. One of the most desired traits in the workplace that we see from employers is their desire to have somebody who can be creative and who can be solution focused, so that when the employee is faced with a challenge, that they're able to think of new and better solutions, and that we're not just stuck in that rut, because the world is changing very, very quickly, and they need employees that have that same adaptability. So what are the things that you can do to increase your creativity, to increase your adaptability, to increase your ability to be able to think on your feet? And there's a lot of things you can do. One is to really increase your knowledge base, appreciate the design of things, really get the information that you need. You can't change or manipulate things without the information first. And then be sure to engage in what they call storytelling. So not just the facts, but the stuff that supports the facts. What does that look like? What's the whole story behind this thing that I'm doing? What is be able to synthesize those facts. How do things work together? How do they blend together? How are they interconnected? Develop empathy and understanding for the different positions or how they're interrelated. Be able to play and take personal time. This is really important. I know for me personally, when I'm overstressed and I'm overworked and I can't find any time at all to just give my mind a break, my creativity just shuts down. So I'm kind of working against myself. And all of a sudden, I take a break, I take a day, I take a shower, I do something, and I'm like, whoa, I just thought of the answer. Or I thought of a new direction or something else to explore. But I wasn't even able to think of that because I was just so overwhelmed. So take the times that you need. Self-care is really, really, really critical. So make sure that you're doing that, and make sure that you find meaning in the work that you're doing. Make sure you find meaning in the world around you. If we're just doing something and it doesn't have any value, it doesn't have any purpose, we're not going to be able to really wrap our head around it or embrace it or care. Why would I care about this? It doesn't matter in the end. So we want to be able to find the meaning and the value in the things that we do. So that's really important. Your education may or may not directly relate to the job you get, but it is going to provide you with a foundation of transferable skills. It's going to give you a basic understanding. When you land that job, they're going to give you on-the-job training. They're going to teach you the jargon and the forms and the equipment and the exact parts of the job. But your education will offer you a whole lot and a very, very strong base that will help you to be ready for that next move. So what are some of the things that you can do in your education that help to ready you? Well, there's different things. Again, I'm going to encourage you to do internships, projects, get involved in hands-on kind of stuff. Find a mentor. A mentor could be a peer in a class that's going through with you. It can be that's already in the field. It can be a professor. It can be a field mentor, somebody who was there for your internship, somebody that coached you, somebody that you just reached out to and said, I've got questions about the field. Do you have a minute? Could we talk? Would you be able to share some ideas with me? Because I really want to make this career work. Build those connections, build those networks. Site visits, going to places and finding out about them. Go in, tour them, ask questions, be part of that system. Volunteer opportunities, job fairs, or when employers might come to your school. Those are, kind of a reverse job fair. They're coming there recruiting. Those are opportunities to learn about things. Encourage you to do volunteer work. Yes, it's nice to get paid. I like to get paid too. But getting out there in the field and getting that direct experience tells you what is the fit for you. What is the thing that feels the best for you? And it gives you better insight, and it helps to develop your passions. Sometimes temporary work. Being open and willing to do that. Filling in. It's not your forever job, but I'm willing to jump in here or fill in or do this for a while so that I can get a feel for what's necessary. Substitute teaching if you want to be a teacher. Working with job career fairs that allow you to step in and do temporary work. Those are thoughts. Informational interviewing. Many will allow you to go into a place where you can do some informational interview. Find out about that job. What does it consist of? Can you tell me about the field and what's required? In vocational training. All those things can be really, really helpful for you. So, why do these things help? What do you need to do with them? Well, they help you to make the right career decision. That's obviously what we're all here for. Not only to find a career, but to find the right career. They help you to gain real life experience. What does that job consist of? Seeing a job on TV doesn't necessarily equate to how it really is. I've been a social worker most of my life. I've seen social workers on TV. It's not how it looks. It's not how it's done. It's not that glamorous. But there's other things out of it that are amazing that aren't even captured on TV. Doctors, technicians, CSI, police officers, they're never really depicted the way it really is. Get in the field. Find out what it's really about. Build your skills. Find out where you are uncomfortable. What are those areas that will help you and you should better develop faster? And develop relationships. Develop mentors. Develop networks. Those are the things that are going to drive you to success. So I hope those are helpful tips, and I'll see you soon.